Number 10. R.I.P. Dad, Quibble Cop.
Oh, thank you.
A year prior to the release of this February 2017 video, Quibble Cop saw his father for the first time in 7 years. He'd been out of the picture due to personal problems, having experienced severe medical issues from which he had seemingly recovered. Unfortunately, Quibble Cop's father experienced another episode, so his son flew him back to the Netherlands to receive proper care. Sadly, in this video, Quibble Cop shares the tragic news. His father died. Although Quibble Cop and his father didn't have the closest relationship, he emphasizes that you should always focus on the positive.
So most likely when this video is live, he's already passed away, but currently he's still alive.
Number 9. In memory of Justin Jew Wario Carmichael, 1971 to 2014. Angry Joe Show.
I want to address something that's important.
Justin Jew Wario Carmichael was a content creator who specialized in playing obscure Japanese video games on his series You Can Play This. And he was also a contributor at That Guy with the Glasses. Tragically, Carmichael decided to take his own life in 2014. In this video, Angry Joe reminisces on all the good times he had with Justin, like their collaborations on many projects for their channel.
We really didn't get a whole lot of time to speak to each other as much as I would have liked, as much as I should have done.
Joe also reflects on how much of a kind and caring person Justin was. Joe ends the video on a happier note, as he plays a collection of clips that show the type of person the world had just lost.
My Job here is Dune.
Number 8. Bad News. Life of Tom.
How can people so young get hit with such disgusting things in life?
Tom, also known as Syndicate, starts this vlog off in a relatively chipper mood. But the video takes a somber turn when he tells the audience that someone who's affected him personally has passed away. During E3 2016, Tom did a Make-A-Wish for a boy named Alec who was fighting cancer.
The day we spent with each other was absolutely amazing. We played video games, we hooked him up with a lot of Xbox swag.
Tom struggles with the idea that Alec, who had the option to do anything he wanted, chose to hang out with him for a day. Alec certainly made an impact on Tom, as Tom decided to hang with Alec and his family again. Unfortunately, Alec lost his battle with cancer, and Tom describes the toll this loss took on him.
He did lose his battle, and now he's in a better place because he really wasn't in a good spot, so.
Number 7. Last Minutes with Odin. Faux Pictures.
I needed to go through what I needed to go through, and he was there the whole way through me, man. From the beginning to the end.
Dogs have been by our sides for well over 10,000 years. So it's little surprise that with such a long history, we've developed a strong bond with our canine companions. They truly are man's best friend. Last Minutes with Odin is a somber look at the final moments between a pet owner, Jason Wood, and his dog Odin, before he's euthanized.
Their whole job is to serve, I think. And like I told Odin, his job was done.
Wood states that his dog taught him how to love, and that Odin was always there for everyone. Last Minutes with Odin effectively drops the audience right into the middle of this intimate moment with its evocative documentary style. And more than a few heartstrings get pulled in the process. Number 6. Emotionally Drained. That Dragon Cancer. Jacksepticeye.
Just the fact that she's like, death is coming whether I wanted to or not.
In this almost 2-hour-long one-off, Jack plays a game called That Dragon Cancer. The game is an autobiographical take on a family dealing with their son's fight with cancer. While playing the game, Jack encounters a situation that triggers a memory of a traumatic event in his life.
It reminds me of the last few days when my granny was alive. And she didn't die of cancer or anything, but she was locked away in like a hospital for the last few months of her life.
He remembers the last moments of his grandmother's life, and he specifically describes visiting her and having to experience her not recognizing him. Although he had a faint suspicion, Jack realizes that the game is a true story at the end of the playthrough, and he doesn't take the news too well.
Oh, he was real.
Number 5. Toby Turner Crying. Full clip. Toby Turner.
Mom took out a loan and bought me a camera, which is awesome.
The bond between mother and son is practically unbreakable. In this cut of an interview with Toby Turner, Turner describes the great lengths his mother went to support and launch her son's YouTube career, like buying Toby a camera to film with. Although this is a beautiful gesture, Toby soon tears up a bit as he lets the audience know that his mother is fighting lung disease.
I want to move her out from it's getting worse.
He tries to hold back the tears with some humor. He finally states that the disease isn't too serious and that he wishes to bring her to LA, seemingly because the climate would be better for her condition. Number 4. Gone but not forgotten. Mr. Shy City kicks it with a friend. Mr. Shy City 3.
Now look at you. Now don't you feel better?
Although he doesn't show his face on screen, Mr. Shy City 3's videos are very personal, and in this video, he brings the audience to a very dark part of his life. Although he intended to make something different, he ended up visiting the grave of his friend who presumably died from gun violence, which is a huge issue in Chicago.
You know your mom still, you know what, man? Your mom still miss you, man. Everybody miss you. You know I do.
He talks about calling his friend's phone and waiting for him to pick up, which the friend never does. Mr. Shy City talks about his inability to accept it all, about being at the funeral and still expecting his friend to answer the phone. While giving his viewers a window into his life, lots of tears are shed.
I be feeling like, damn, I want to see my mans. I want to see my though, you know, it's like I can't see you and shit, cause you gone, man. You know what I'm saying? You just gone and shit.
Number 3. Draw My Life, Markiplier.
I mean, we were pretty sad, but we were more sad to see our dad just kind of cave in.
In this Draw My Life, Markiplier illustrates all the ups and downs that life has thrown at him. He talks about having to deal with his parents separating, living with his father who's diagnosed with cancer, and then watching him pass away.
The last words that he said to me were, "I love you so much."
He describes living with his mother, who eventually kicked him out due to her disapproval of his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend breaking up with him. At this point, it seems that everything in his life is going wrong. That is, until he decided to pursue YouTube, which brings him to where he is today. Life after that hasn't been without its challenges, however, as the passing of Daniel Kyer also hit him hard.
You know, he inspired us to expect better from ourselves.
Number 2. My two best friends' suicide story, forever in my heart. Lizzie's Tabs channel.
It's September 19th, and for most people it doesn't mean anything. But for me, it does.
7 months after her two best friends, Roxanne and Frankie, committed suicide as a result of bullying, Lizzie reflects on how strong her friends were. Frankie, in particular, was bullied for being transgender. Lizzie remembers how the bullies would message her and tell her to end her life, and that it eventually all became too much. Lizzie mentions how those same bullies showed no remorse for their actions. She describes how they then began picking on her after her friends committed suicide. Lizzie ends the video wishing that her friends were back, and also voices her support for those going through something similar. It's a heartbreaking look into the damage of teen bullying.
Besides, how could you live with yourself after that? And not just living with yourself, but going on and doing the same thing to other people.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
More importantly, I'm going to miss Daniel. That's a scar that will not heal, but in time.
Domestic violence knows no gender. It happens to men and women.
Number 1. Draw My Life, Boogie to 988, aka Francis.
But that was okay because I had some good friends and we go out to eat all the time. But eating out all the time made me fatter, and being fatter made me sadder.
Boogie to 988 has lived a very hard life, and in this Draw My Life, he takes us with him as he reflects on what brought him to his current situation. His childhood involved many hardships, like living in an abusive home, where he dealt with both emotional and physical abuse.
Then my poor mother, who was already pretty sad and already pretty angry, got even sadder and got even angrier, and the bad stuff she did started happening more often, and the good stuff she did kind of disappeared.
His mother hit him frequently, and he turned to food to ease the pain. With his mixture of mental and physical trauma, Boogie eventually gained a lot of weight and experienced many ups and downs. His life began to turn around when he found YouTube, and although he still suffers today, he states that he's the happiest he's ever been.
Right here, right now, in this moment of time, I'm happier than I've ever been, and I owe all of that to you.